Simon, Jake goes out of the side. How do you reshuffle back there?
Yeah, obviously we've got some options. Obviously Adam Tomlinson's in really good form. And I guess it's the decision for us whether we go a bit taller or we stay a bit smaller. So we'll train today, we'll have a look at that, but we've got some options in what that might look like.
Does Harrison Petty become a consideration, or are you fixed on him being a forward?
I'm fixed on him being a forward. I think what we've seen obviously last year and parts of our pre-season this year, we feel that he's a really important person for us in our forward half of the ground from a leadership perspective, and also his aerial capacity. Clearly right now he's probably not playing ultimately his best footy, but we're really confident that with some continuity, some ability to play that position for a longer period of time, that we'll get that, and the combination that he could have and the cohesion that we need to build down there is really important for us.
Just on Jake, is that something that you've been managing for quite some time, hasn't it?
Yeah, look, he's been managing it probably for the last 3 or 4 weeks. We knew at some stage he'd have to go in and have that surgery done, and it was really just working out the best time to get it done. So obviously once the concussion took place and he was in those protocols, it just seemed like a perfect opportunity to go in and get it done. So we'll go and get it fixed. We want to be really healthy in the back half of the year. So the opportunity to get it done was too good to refuse, and go in, get it fixed and get him back as quick as we can.
Ed Langdon, will he be available this weekend?
Yeah, Ed will play. Obviously away last week for his sister's wedding, and that's something that we're really passionate about family and about them being a priority, and we won't compromise on that. And for Ed, it was a really important process for him to be there for his sister. They've got an incredibly close relationship, and she lives in London. So we were really supportive of his journey back there because we won't compromise on how important family is to our people. And it's not going to be the same for every person, but it was for Ed, it was an important thing that we knew about all the way through our pre-season into the season, and we planned for, and we were committed to that.
Just on Jake quickly, was that the injury time where he was jumping to spoil the ball on the line and just landed a bit awkward? Is that the knee injury?
No, that was sort of a few weeks after that. So, he's had some little niggles with his knee, but it was just an awesome opportunity to get it fixed up and tidied up. And obviously we want to make sure he's really healthy and fit. We've seen of the form he's been in has been outstanding for us. So we want to make sure we get him back and be really healthy for the rest of the year.
You obviously weren't happy with the performance against West Coast on Sunday. What are the things this week you'd like to see fixed up to get back to where you think you should be?
Clearly, our contest work was really poor on the day, and I thought our ability to defend the ground was poor. And the things that we've been really strong at in the past. So we certainly have got some things that we need to really go back and make sure we've got a really clear identity in how we play. And as we evolve our team and try to be the team that we want to become by the end of the year, we've got to make sure that the pillars that we want to be strong in are there for everyone to see. And on the weekend they weren't. And we're really clear in our review about what that looked like. But we've got great optimism by the end of the year that we'll have all 3 phases in check together.
How close is Ollie Seston to that? It was an amazing story.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting close. He's certainly he's building a 4 to 6 week patch where he's playing with AFL intensity consistently, and we've been working really hard with Ollie to get him to a physical capacity to be able to deal with the game. And he's worked incredibly hard, and he's starting to build a bank of form around intensity that will stand up at AFL footy, and we're really happy with how he's tracking. He's still got a little bit to learn in his game and develop from a positional perspective, but he's starting to be a really exciting player for us moving forward.
Looking into the Saints, where do you see this game sort of being won and lost? They've been so strong defensively through the year. Is that for where you guys need to, pierce that defence?
Yeah, look, we know that it's going to be an arm wrestle. The way St Kilda defend is, really hard to play against. They get a lot of numbers behind the ball, and they try and score on counter-attacks. So we know that we're going to have to be really good with the ball and be in for that arm wrestle and that defensive war that can take place when you play St Kilda. So we're up for that, and we've got to make sure we maximise our opportunities when we get them. And that's the type of game that we want to go after. We want to go after them in all phases of the game, but we know we're going to have to be up for the arm wrestle as well.
Another Doug Nichols round. It's been stuff before. It's a special lunch today with some of the cuisine from where some of the Indigenous boys are from. Can you tell us a bit about that? Yeah,
so we've got a lunch today where we're getting as much of the Indigenous food from different regions that the guys are really passionate about from where they come from for lunch for all our staff and players. And Our chef Ange does a wonderful job in preparing that, and obviously working with Maddie Whelan, our Indigenous Welfare Officer, to build a lunch that we're really proud of and our Indigenous players are proud of, and we get to share in the cuisine. So looking forward to having a little bit of that.
Do you know what's on the menu?
I don't. So it's going to be a bit of a surprise when we walk in, but it'll all be labelled and clear, and it'll all have a story to it. So we're looking forward to it.
Do you expect Jacob Van to pass concussion protocol?
He'll train today, so we expect him to. But obviously, we've got to make sure that he passes really well and he's feeling really well. So we'll make that decision, obviously tomorrow once he gets through that session and see how he pulls up.
I just want to ask about Rowan Marshall, Simon. Numbers are incredible this season, particularly over the last couple of weeks. Do you and Max plan to try and quell his input until you just back the skipper to do his thing?
Oh no, we'll work with Max about what are Rowan's strengths. If anyone knows Max Gorn, he does an incredible amount of study on the guy he's coming up against. So he'll look at Rowe, we'll sit down and have a discussion with Greg Stafford, our ruck coach, and work out our best plan moving forward. But Max will put his strengths against Rowe and try and nullify as much of his. But he's been in outstanding form for them. High clearance player, high hit out, get back, support his defence. So we'll have a plan for all those things.
Where's Lockie Hunter at the moment? Like, is it purely a form thing, or is he still working through some things with his body?
No, he missed a really big piece of pre-season. So he's been building his capacity in recent times and his form at VFL level. He's getting really close. Like he started to play some really strong footy at VFL level, especially in the last 3 weeks, and he's starting to physically cover the ground that we know Lockie can. So he's getting right into the selection space where he's putting his name right up at match committee.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The midfield, pre-season with Gus going out, we sort of looked at think, are you a bit skinny there? And then stood up really well, and on the weekend might have got exposed. Where do you think your midfield's at? And do you think it's something you might look to bolster in the mid-season, or do you think you need some different faces running through that?
Look, we want to get more people going through the middle of the ground. That's always been the plan, and we'll continue to look at what that looks like, whether it's Cozzy Pickett or an Alex Neil-Bullen. So we're continuing to add layers, maybe a Trent Rivers at times as well. But the best midfields have multiple people that go through it. We got beaten on the weekend by a team that were better at their contest game. They were better at their running game, contest to contest, and we got beaten in that phase of the game. And what I do know is that we've got a really proud midfield group, and they'll be looking to respond. But it's an area that we'll need to.
Can I just ask you one more about Ed Langdon? Has the industry got more mature on things like this? I mean, especially post-COVID, becoming more accommodating? I
think so. I think what people realise is football is a game. Yeah, it's an important game and people are really passionate about it, but there are bigger things in life as well, and family is one of those. And it's something that we're really clear on, that we won't compromise on what family means to players. We know that if they're really happy, content, they'll play their hearts out for your footy club, and they have a place where they really belong and feel valued. And for Ed, it was the case of that this is something he's really passionate about, and he came to us really early on in pre-season to have the discussion about his love of his sister and how much this day would mean to her and his family. And we were really, really accommodating for that, and we wanted Ed to go. So we'll get him when he comes back.
State of Origin footy's come back on the agenda. I suppose it happens around this time every
year.
Yeah. Gary Lyon said it was an unmitigated disgrace that we haven't keep it going. Where do you stand on it?
It's an annual discussion, isn't it? Every time it comes up. Oh, look, I think we've all, from that era, and I'm one of those people as kids growing up, we're passionate about state footy because we saw what it brought to the game. But I think as we've progressed in the last 20 or 30 years, we've moved into a different type of game where it's a national competition. It's teams from every state are involved in our national competition, and we're increased the length of our season. So would it still have the same passion that it did in the 1980s? I'm not too sure. And obviously there's a lot of the devil's in the detail with a concept like that, but we play so much footy now, and the season goes for so long and it's spread over so much. How much more can the industry cope with? I'm not sure. I love it the way it is right now. Thanks, guys.